Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to log in from AWS and NPD. Okay, and once we're logged in, I'll just visit. And the guys, what we need to do is when you're logged in, so on the left side, you can see the services as before, and we can go for this second category here. This is storage, and there's S3 here. So we're gonna click the S3, storage S3, right? And okay, there's the link. So we're gonna okay. So once we're there, so before you go to storage, obviously I need to add everyone to the storage and give access to everyone to the storage. So once I give the access, guys, you need to log out, log in from the AWS. So let me just quickly go for this group here, attach policy, and I'll just access. Okay, so S3 and IAM. Well, other than that, okay. So guys, once I say, then you have to sign out, sign in to really make it work. What's my username again? Gideon says that. Okay, so what's your username? This is your username. Gideon, are you able to see this? So your college ID dash this GIDEON. Hopefully you got it. Oh, you're logging. Okay. So let's so guys, you need to sign out, sign in, because I just gave you the permissions. Right after giving the permissions, you need to sign out, sign in, because otherwise you won't be able to follow if the permissions are not implemented. So please go ahead and sign out and then sign in from your user account, so the permissions that I gave you now could be implemented. So I'll just put that message there in the chat, that please sign out, sign in for permissions to take effect. I'll put it here as well, for permissions to take effect. And so hopefully you have done that, and that really lets you go ahead. Otherwise obviously you won't be able to go ahead. So I'm going to go to the services as I mentioned before. Once we go to the services here, then we go to the second category, that is storage category, storage, right? So we're going to go for S3 here, simple storage service. So let's click S3. I hope everyone's seeing that, and I'm going to click that S3 now. So it's called a simple storage service. And if you have used Dropbox before, Google Drive before, what you do is just upload files and folders. So this is what this storage also does, but obviously it's not like Google Drive So it's not like Google Drive, it's not like Dropbox, which are for one user and personal use. This is a storage for corporates, for big companies, for governments. So when it comes to governments and big companies about the usage of the storage, then basically it is it's supposed to be secure, it's supposed to be scalable, and it's supposed to be highly available. So suppose one big company has 100,000 users or more than 100,000 users. So that's a huge amount of users, and they're all interacting, and their data has to be secure. If suppose company acquires another company and that's an extra 10,000 users, so at once can this storage scale up to 110,000 users? So it should be scalable. Suppose some users actually lost some data, or lost data, and did we had a backup of this critical data? Was this data secure from the start, and how highly available the data is? So when it's the governments are involved, when banks are involved, then we have to really make sure that the storage has to be really professional storage. If we go ahead here to okay, so we have here AWS storage S3 simple, which is S3 is simple storage service. It's an online storage to upload files and folders. Well, that's a one-liner, but it's a lot, much more than that. There's so many features inside for big companies, even small companies, and then big companies. It offers big corporates security, speed, scalability, and disaster recovery. And It offers big corporates security, speed, scalability, and disaster recovery. So the definition that we would be going for, well, there's a URL here that I shared as well, and I'll just make it a little bigger. So Amazon Simple Storage Service, or S3, is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability. So again, I gave you an example of all of a sudden your company has maybe 20, 30, 40,000 users more. So is it scalable? And it can provide you, suppose it's not about users, it's about the company is uploading huge data, petabytes and petabytes of data. So is this storage that scalable that all of a sudden huge data can be uploaded and the company has to upload it fast? So does it scale up to any level that is required by the corporate sector? So it's offering industry leading scalability, data availability. So your data is highly available. Now you have uploaded data to the region, right? So okay, suppose we go for, so you have East US, right? East US, and you have uploaded data on East US, and it's in availability zones, and it's the data centers under East US. And so there are availability zones. We know that East US has 6 availability zones. Well, when we say East US, it's North Virginia region has availability, 6 availability zones: AZ1 availability zone, 2 availability zone, 3, and so on, right? And then Ohio, that is also in East, but Ohio has only 3 availability zones. So well, and then there is US West, California, so they have 3 availability zones there. Now you have placed your data on availability zone number, availability zone. So normally you get to choose that too, which availability zone. So suppose you put your data here in availability zone 1, and what AWS does is that it simply creates 3 copies of that and stores it there as well. So in case your, in case one availability zone goes down, the other one takes, other one is going to have your data. If 2 availability zones are down, still your data is in the 3rd availability zone. If 3 are down, then you lost access to your data. Obviously, if availability zone level outage occurred, then AWS is responsible for that, and AWS is supposed to get your data back. It's just the disconnectivity that and the business productivity is down now, so that kind of loss is there. But in terms of data is there. It's and they are responsible for getting your data back in case of their hardware failure. So it can really offer high availability. Then there is cross-region replication, which is that suppose you have actually put it on West US, and this is your choice. They automatically don't do that. AWS does not offer automatically that. It is that you want cross-region replication. Yes, you can do that with a bit higher rate, obviously. So the thing is that you would have to manually configure that whatever data I automatically upload here or manually upload here should automatically be replicated to the West US or East Europe, right, or Asia, right, or wherever across the planet, right? So that would be that is something that manually you have to configure for your data. If there would be 2 reasons that you would go cross region replication, and that would be, one reason is you're just doing a backup. Second reason is that you actually have clients in that particular region. Suppose in Europe or in West US or in Asia, you have actually some users there, and before you did cross-region replication, you only had one region, and the users from Asia had to directly connect to the North American region and download the data from there. So that would just cost you the bandwidth and the users. But when you put the data nearest to the user, to the nearest region where the users are, in that case you would make that available, so users bandwidth cost will go low and they would just simply download the data faster, plus you can back up. If the whole East US, if the whole North Virginia region level outage occurred, so in that case you have your data in California, in the West US 1 region, right, or West US 2 region. So it's up to you, but they do offer high availability, data availability. Now this is done by Azure as well, Microsoft Azure. This is the second best cloud services provider on the planet. The first obviously is AWS, and the second best is this Microsoft Azure. Third best is Google Drive, not, did I say Drive? Google Cloud, and then the list goes on. But these 3 are the mainstream, and many companies in GTA, they have, well, they would mostly have Microsoft Azure, but bigger companies would have Microsoft Azure and AWS, and well, medium-sized companies would have Microsoft Azure and Google, or simply just Microsoft. So that is something that you have to then understand. So security, obviously Microsoft Azure, the second best cloud service providers, and the first AWS, they all do cover security there in terms of encryption of data at rest and encryption of data on the move or in transit. So they do offer encryption, obviously. And then there's performance here as well. So how fast you want the data to be retrieved. So suppose you have hundreds of thousands of users here who are connected to that folder that you've created. Now folder is actually called bucket. So suppose your boss says, hey, can you create a sales department folder? So what you're going to do here, you're going to come here and you're going to create a sales department bucket. and bucket is just a folder where you can upload files and folders, right? So suppose you shared the data, shared the bucket URL, which is just a folder, and thousands of users are connecting there. So in that case, how fast the data is being retrieved, how fast the users, maybe users are actually um, changing files, or they are uh, making changes and then saving files there, or retrieving files, or downloading files from there. So in that case, the underlying hardware, is it HDD based, is it SSD based, reads and writes that are going on, immense reads and writes are going on. So will that be fast retrieval, or it would be so slow that the users would just simply complain or go to some other site if it was actually a website that you are hosting from there. So the data availability, security, performance, this all really matters when it comes to corporate sector and big companies and government organizations. The ministries, when they save the data, they have very high requirements of security, high availability, right? So what's going on is that we have to just choose that which is the best storage for your company, right? So this means the customers of all sizes and industries can use it to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases, such as data lakes, websites. So data lakes would be just as the word says, lakes. So huge amount of data that is placed in a group of storage, then another huge amount of chunk of data, huge chunk of data we can say, placed on another set of drives there, or buckets or folders. And then if you're actually handling websites there, or mobile applications that are connecting to your storage and retrieving a lot of files from there, or you're just using it for backups, and you're uploading a huge amount of backup there to the storage, that it should be secure and fast retrievable as well. So backup and restore, and then you're archiving. So that's a lot of facilities there. You want to archive for long term, that okay, I don't want to use that data now, it's not frequently used data, but obviously it's important for me, so I'm going to simply save it for long term, and whenever I need it, I just retrieve it. So archive, you can just do that. And enterprise applications, IoT devices. Enterprise applications would be obviously going to require a lot of security, a lot of scalability, and very good performance as well. IoT, Internet of Things devices. So IoT devices would be all the electronics, all the gadgets, all the appliances you have at home. They would soon all have IP addresses of their own, and you can just manage them all through central device or remote control. And big data and analytics. So big data would be obviously huge amount of data for last 50 years or maybe 100 years that was collected after doing a lot of research and data creation. So that big data needs to be analyzed, and that also requires a lot of good performance, huge capacity, and some intelligent applications, business applications that do analytics of the big data. So Amazon S3 provides easy to use management features, so you can organize your data and configure finely tuned access controls to meet your specific business, organizational, and compliance requirements. Amazon S3 is designed for 99.99999, so it's 11 nines of durability. So it's offering 11 nines of durability. Durability is that the data is intact. Suppose there's a hardware failure on their side, the underlying SSD disks are corrupt, or they're not accessible where the data was. They're just saying that we are offering 11 nines of durability, which means that we are going to proudly be saying that whatever disaster happens, whatever kind of disruption happens, your data will be intact. Intact means it's not going to be corrupt. So if some of you who have had that experience in the past, if for older disks or HDDs, if the HDD got corrupt, maybe dropped from a height and it's not accessing, or there's a tick 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 sound coming from there, this means pretty much dead. With some advanced paid software, you could just retrieve still some of the data from there, or maybe the data was just deleted, the disk was formatted, and you still, with some good software, retrieve the data. So that data that was retrieved from downed or crashed or corrupted disk, that data, not all the data would be readable, and some of the data would be readable, but not all. So that would really be be creating a lot of issues then. That and they're saying that, okay, your data is on our disks and we are giving you full guarantee that the data will be intact. So they're using 11 nines here, and this is it seems ridiculous. Microsoft, in their documentation, they have used 16 nines. So first time when I saw that way back, so I was saying, this is ridiculous. I mean, who uses 11 nines? And then I saw Microsoft documentation, they were using 16 nines, just saying, okay, there's no way that your data could be corrupt while it's with us. Okay, so, and stores data of millions of applications for companies all around the world. So yes, their storage is scalable to that level, that millions of applications, millions of users are uploading data every day. You can just get the example of YouTube. Every 1 minute, I don't know, 500 videos, or was it 1 minute or maybe 5 minutes, or maybe in seconds, that 500 videos are being uploaded there, right, every minute. So that's a huge data that is being continuously uploaded, and it's going somewhere. So it's Google, right? Anyway, so they have scalable infrastructure there, that no matter what are your demands on the corporate level, on very big level, yes, they can meet it. Well, that's why AWS is the top in CSPs, or cloud service providers. Then the Unmatched security, compliance, and audit capabilities. So they do offer, there are some world standards for auditing and compliance policies. According to different governments, different regions, they have created their policies there, that, okay, your data has to be that much secure, it has to be that much encrypted, and there has to be that many copies of data that should be there. So they have their official standards there, and in order to just comply with that, so you have to really show them, let them test your infrastructure, so they could put you on, yes, this is compliant with the standards, 9001 standards, or whatever other data standards are. Actually, that was not a data standard. So that's what they're saying, that your data is secure with us and it's highly available, as well as we can just use it for very secure way. So store your data in Amazon S3 and secure it from unauthorized access with encryption features and access management tools. S3 is the only object storage service that allows you to block public access to all of your objects at the bucket or the account level. With S3, block public access. So there's a policy that we're going to see there, block public access. And also S3 maintains compliance programs such as PCI DSS, HIPAA, HITECH, and FedRAMP, EU Data Protection Directive. So there are those international standards to which it comply already, and FISMA, to help you meet regulatory requirements. So regional regulatory requirements it must meet. So the companies, when they upload the data, those requirements should be there, being met. S3 integrates with Amazon Macy to discover and protect your sensitive data. AWS also supports numerous auditing capabilities to monitor access requests to your S3 resources. So it is really very good. in terms of security, scalability, and performance. Lots of features coming our way. So let's just go ahead and log in. So please log out and log in now for the permissions to get implemented. Well, those who joined a little late, they just logged in after the permissions were implemented, so they're okay. Should be okay. So I'm going to go back to this S3. So what's the plan? Plan is that we're going to create a bucket, and bucket is just a folder where you upload files and folders, right? So we're going to create a bucket, and during the creation of the bucket there will be so many features there, and we're going to discuss what is the purpose of all those features. And then when we upload a file inside, you will see even more features there, and that would make that would let you know that how complex the whole procedure, or how many features are there to really secure and to save our money as well for our data being kept here on S3. So if we are inside AWS, so I went to services here, and then once inside AWS and you click the services, then I went to storage and then S3. So let's click the S3. Once we click under the storage S3, then this page comes. Okay, that was a bit late. And here it says buckets and it's 0. Obviously we didn't create one. So buckets are containers for data stored in S3. Okay, in Microsoft they call it containers, but yes, it's just a folder or a container to save data. Let's go to the right side, and there is that orange button called create bucket. So I'm going to click that create bucket here, and once we create bucket, so buckets, well, first of all it's asking for a bucket name, and then there is region. So we can just give the bucket name your first name dash today's date, which is 30 March 2021. Okay, now bucket name cannot be capital letter, so I'm just going to change the M for the March from capital to small. Every letter has to be small, and it is globally unique. So if anyone else has taken it already, obviously you need to change it. So I'll just go for Amir. And once we put there, so here you can just put some unique name there, right? So name of food, name of car, name of whatever. So I'll just go for something that certain people like, including me. So biryani. Maybe many of you didn't heard that before. So anyway, that's some spicy rice and chicken. Okay, I'm hungry. So anyway, so just put some unique word here. Once you have put in that name here, it has to be small case. Again, it has to be small case. All right, otherwise it's gonna give you error now. So once we go down here, there's the US East North Virginia. Make sure it's North Virginia, obviously. And then the option comes copy settings from existing bucket. Well, that's the first bucket, so it doesn't apply to us. And if we go further down, so there's the block public access settings for this bucket. And obviously you're not going to open access. Suppose we uncheck this option. We're not going to uncheck now, but later, yes. Suppose we uncheck that option, block all public access. So obviously the public access, once we uncheck it, all public access will be allowed, but that doesn't mean that all files are accessible right away then and there. What happens is that there's a two-way process. Suppose there's a file that you have created there, and you want others to access that file over the internet. So you have to first unblock this public access, and then you also have to make sure you need to go to that particular file and right click, and there's an option called make public. Once you click that, then only the file is available over the internet. So it's a two-step process. Just opening here, unchecking this does not expose all the files of the bucket. but you have to go to each file or select all files, and then make public option is a second one. If you select that, yes, now all files are available over the internet. So well, anyway, that's one thing. And second thing is, public access is granted to buckets and objects. Objects are files and folders through access control lists. We're going to check this out, but what it does is controls the access, hence access control list. So controls access, like with this username have access, that username does not have access, and that username has access, and that does not have. So it's just simple. You give access, you don't give access. And then there are bucket policies. We're going to explore that too. What are those? But obviously, you want to allow somebody some folders and subfolders of this bucket, and others no access to any folder. So bucket policies. And then yet again, there's access point policies there. So which point you can access, from which point you can access to the bucket. And so we're gonna check that out. So there are 3 levels: ACLs, bucket policies, access point policies. In order to ensure that public access to this bucket and its objects is blocked, turn on block all public access. It is turned on right now. These settings apply only to this bucket and its access points. So AWS recommends that you turn on block all public access, but before applying any of these changes, ensure that your applications will work correctly. So they're saying that yes, it's okay to block all public access, but then also make sure that your application will work correctly without public. Suppose you blocked the public access, it will also block your applications to connect as well. So just make sure that your blocking here does not disrupt the connectivity of any applications to this bucket. Okay, so if you require some level of public access to this bucket or objects within, you can customize the individual settings below to suit your specific storage use cases. So there are extra options. You don't have to just simply block all public access, but you can just use those. So block public access to buckets and objects granted through new access control policy. So suppose till now you have created just one access control policy, and that is, okay, AWS account 1, AWS account 2 has access to this bucket. Suppose this is a AWS account 1, and then AWS account 2 and 3 have access to this. So the access control policy that you already have, suppose, has this. So you can just you're saying here with this option, block public access to any new access control. Suppose somebody does create another ACL that, okay, AWS account 3 also has access to everything here, but since this option will be enabled, so block public access to new access control list. So you're just blocking access to, hey, any other administrator created a ACL, we don't care. This option just blocks any new public access to any other through access control list if anyone got access. And then block public access to buckets and objects granted through any access control. So suppose you created before an access control list that AWS 1, AWS 2, or AWS 2 and 3 have access. And now you're creating another account access control list, AWS 3 and AWS 4, or AWS 4 and 5 also have access. So existing and new ACLs all will be blocked if you click this option. And this goes the same for new public bucket or access point policies. There are bucket policies and there are access point policies. So they are different, right? Bucket policies, we're going to see that separately, access point policies separate. But they're saying that you want to block any newly created bucket policy or access policy, then this option. You want to block all existing and newly created bucket policy and access point policy. So this option will block that too. So this is all about all-out block for certain sections of your bucket or folder or container, right? So for now, we're just going to keep it on, but later we will uncheck it. Okay, so I don't know why I can't send messages to the public chat room. Oh, okay. Amir says, is there any way that to upload the static files, specifically JavaScript files of a website, to S3 so that only the website can use them? The link of the static files should be blocked. if anybody else wants to open it by clicking on its link. Well, we haven't explored those features yet, but once we explore, then you will see that. So when you say static files, Amir, so this means that static website files, and well, I can see that you've written there JavaScript files. So yes, you can upload JavaScript files or any kind of files there. It becomes a web server for static websites only, right? And you can execute the HTML, but what kind of JavaScript files are there? You will have to upload and check it out yourself, that how much they are supporting, what kind of language files they support there. They do support HTML and Java. And other thing is, okay, so when we look at the web page source, we can see all those links. Okay, and but you're saying that can you run those? It's not run. You can we share the access to the JavaScript files to few? Okay, that may be the actual question, right? Oh, okay. So Amir says that when we look at the web page source, we can see all those links. So can we block those links? Now this is, a browser is allowing that, and that needs to be talked to the support actually. That can we even block those source links that can be seen from by right clicking the source page? I think. When you right click here, it used to come here actually. There's an inspector, yeah, there's a view page source here. So on this page, and if you click that, so there, well, for now it's just not showing much here. If you have text JavaScript, and this is the information is showing. So if you had placed some more links there, for this page doesn't contain anything, but obviously if you had some links there, then so can you protect that functionality? Normally that is blocked by your application software, browser control central software, right? So, and that central software needs to be there. Now I know that Google Cloud does offer online some app control features after you purchase their premium subscription. Then they block many features of browser as well. But for AWS, you have to talk to the support if they offer this. Otherwise, you have to go for third-party support. Third-party software, some of those are very good and they can really block. Suppose Intune, Endpoint Manager or Intune, it really has a lot of group policies there online that could you can implement it to the user's profile, and then many of the policies can actually block many of the aspects of browser. But exactly this can be blocked, I still have to check that out myself as well. So okay guys, we were talking about block all public access, and then there's bucket versioning. So there's bucket versioning here, and versioning, we may have talked about that before as well, that you can keep the version of the same document. So yesterday you opened a file called accounts.xlsx or Excel file, and you made some changes there and you uploaded it in the bucket with versioning enabled. And today you again opened that Excel file accounts, and then you made some more changes and uploaded it here. If versioning was not enabled, then the same name file, when you upload again in the same destination in the bucket, so that file will overwrite. Today's file will overwrite the same file that you uploaded yesterday. But if versioning is enabled, then today's file will be saved as well as a separate file, and yesterday's same file will be uploaded there, or it will be placed there as a separate independent file. So whenever you make changes and upload a file, so that file is separately saved in bucket versioning. We're going to check that out as well. Right now we're disabling it because then once the bucket is created, we're going to explore that, how to enable it from within the bucket. If you go further down here, so that's tags, and it's again you can just check that what to put here, extra information you can put here, and then the default encryption here, server-side encryption. So this is the encryption that is supported by AWS, and AWS manages pretty much all aspects of encryption, including the saving of the encryption keys. So it's better to let AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud to really manage your encryption keys for your data. And then there's advanced settings. If I expand that advanced settings here, so there's object lock, and you can enable it during this wizard. After that, it can't be enabled. So it just lets you, object lock lets you um, not delete and not change anything. So it's worm or write once, read many, or worm model, WORM, which simply means you can't delete, you cannot change. Two things, right? You can't delete, you cannot change. So that's write once, read many, one to help you prevent objects from being deleted or overwritten for a fixed amount of time or indefinitely. So you want to just make your full bucket read only and cannot be deleted as well for a fixed amount of time or indefinitely. You can do that with object lock, but during this wizard you can decide after that, and it will enable versioning as well. But once it is done, then you cannot do that. Once the bucket is created, then you can't really use this option. Okay, and so this much we have talked about the bucket, and we have named it. So I'm just going to go down here, and I'm just going to go for clicking create and 8. So let's click the create bucket button now. Once we click the create bucket, so the bucket is created, and I can see a lot of biryani, shawarma, biryani again. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. Now this the buckets have been created here, and I refresh that, and yeah. Right. So now let's go ahead and take a screenshot. So click your named bucket, and screenshot number 1 is bucket created. So just click your named bucket, and screenshot number 1 is bucket created. Screenshot 1, bucket created. So I'll just take a sample screenshot now by just selecting my named bucket, and screenshot 1 is bucket created. Okay. Screenshot 1, bucket created. Screenshot 1, bucket created. Oh, okay. So I'll just put it here. 8 shot bucket created. All right, so I'll just go ahead. Once we have created the bucket and took the screenshot, then let's click on top of the bucket to go inside it and explore a long list of options there. So I'm going to click on top of my bucket, and now we're inside, and you can see that there are different tabs here: objects, properties, permissions, metrics, management, access points. So objects are the fundamental entities stored in Amazon S3. You can use Amazon Inventory to get a list of all objects in your bucket. For others to access your objects, you will need to explicitly grant them permissions. So in English, they're saying these are just files and folders. Okay. What we can do is we can just quickly upload one file that we will be creating ourselves, not a random file. Let's just create the file ourselves. So I'm going to go to my laptop or desktop, and I'll go to my uh, downloads folder, right? So open your file explorer and then go to the downloads folder, downloads folder, down and load folders, and then right click on new here. Just create a new folder inside downloads folder or wherever, right? Just right click new and new folder in your downloads folder or where you want, and that's it. So just your first name dash folder. Just create a folder with your first name, right? Create a folder with your first name and enter. Wow. Okay, double click. Now once you're inside the folder called your first name dash folder, then we're just going to quickly create a notepad file and we're going to write something there. So right click here, and inside the empty folder just right click and click new, and we're going for text document, right? So just right click and new in the empty folder, and we're going for text document. We're just calling it your first name dash file, and then open it, your first name dash file, and then click anywhere else and just open it, right? So once you create a folder of your name and create a file of your name, text file, that's it. So simple. So double click that, okay, double click that, and then this is a test file. Just write anything. So we're just gonna write here, this is a test file, and simply save and close it, or close and save it, right? So we're just gonna upload that. So later we're gonna test the versioning feature with this file as well, and then we're gonna come back later to add another line and then upload it to test the versioning feature. Right now just write this and close and save, or save and close. So I'm just gonna go to the close button. It will ask for save, so I'm just gonna save it. So once we have closed and saved it, then just simply upload. But now during the upload of this file, there will be a lot of features that are coming there, so we really need to know those features. So do not just simply upload the file. So we're going to go through the process of upload, and it's going to offer you a lot of options to upload. So just for one file or just for 100,000 files, the options are the same. So I'm going to go back, Alt Tab to the console here, and simply upload, and wherever you upload it, create that file, just go there. I'll just go to upload. This page opens. The upload, this page opens, and I'm going to click add files, right? So I'm going to click add files, and then I'm going to go for the downloads folder, and there's my name folder, and I'm going to upload that file, and your first name file. Just go ahead and double click that. So the file is here, 19 bytes. Well, so there are not, but so you can see the destination, it's just that bucket name, but this is not what we're discussing here. There's bucket versioning that will be available for this file. There's default encryption that is available for this file. Object lock, it is disabled right now. So they're just saying that you want to enable bucket versioning. Not now. We're not enabling that now. But when you're uploading one file or 100,000 files, these options come. And then there's a additional upload options here as well. So we're just going to click those additional upload options. Okay, so these are the options. The storage class. So we need to understand what is a storage class. Amazon S3 offers a range of storage classes designed for different use cases. So what are the use cases for which you need storage classes? Or what are storage classes anyway? I wish I could just expand this guy here, but I can't. So there is another way to just see the whole table. This is a whole table here, and we're going to discuss about this table. So there's standard storage class, standard IA, which is infrequently accessed. Then one zone infrequently accessed, or IA. Then there is reduced redundancy, intelligent tiering, glacier deep archive. So what are those? Glacier is obviously long-term archive solution, and it's called Glacier. And Microsoft Azure Cloud calls it archive, and AWS Cloud calls it Glacier. So they just are for very cheap online storage for long-term. Okay, so I'm going to click this Learn More here, and it's going to show that table again. We should. Yeah. So there's a whole table, and this, I think I put that view on 80% of the browser. Like 80% is gonna not 100%, so that's why the whole table is shown. If it's 100%, half of the table will be shown, and we have to scroll again. I just wanted to have. I just wanted to see the whole table. Okay, so storage class here, and S3 standard. This is the default storage class, and you upload your data. It goes to S3 standard, which is frequently accessed data. This storage is made for frequently accessed data. They're saying that we're offering 99.119% availability, durability. Sorry, that's durability. Which means data will be intact, it will not be corrupt, and we are giving this much guarantee for that. Availability, designed for, and this is 99.99% availability, right? So what does that mean? You know that table for the percentage as well. So I put it there for the other batch as well. So it's really okay, that's enormous speed. Okay, this is the table. I'll copy that. So this is SLA, and we may have seen that before as well. So when you talk about 99.99%, so how many hours, how many minutes per year you're saying that it's going to be down? So 99.99% is 56 minutes per year. The company says only not more than 56 minutes that your data can be unavailable. After that, if it's for 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, if it is unavailable, they will have to reimburse. There are some punishments there or fines there, right? So that's 8.6 seconds per day that it can be unavailable. After that, SL is breached if it is more unavailable for more time. So, and these are other nines here, and that's even at 99.999%, that is 31 seconds per year. So imagine 11 nines, and imagine 16 nines. So that's okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, we were talking about this. So durability is this, but availability is that they are talking about this 56 minutes per year it could be down. After that, we're giving service level agreement for 56 minutes per year that it could be down, but not more than that. Otherwise, we'll pay some of the charges back. So other than that, and they're saying that how we're making it 99% available or 56 minutes per year is by keeping your data on 3 availability zones. If one availability zone in a region goes down, your data is still secure. In other two goes down, still one a third goes down. Now, yes, you have no access to your data. So they will, then it better be back in 56 within 56 minutes or nearly 1 hour. So after that, it's a punishment for them. So minimum storage duration, they're saying none, so you can upload as a small file as possible. Minimum billable object size is also none, and other considerations are also not there. So it's a standard one, and obviously they're going to charge you for that frequently accessed data a bit more, and that's some .00 cents, 3489 cents per hour. So then comes the S3 standard IA, that is infrequently accessed. Now, suppose you're not frequently accessing your data, then why are you paying for the frequent access plan, right? Or storage? Why don't you just pay for cheaper storage here? So they have created that second storage. Keeping the file there is cheaper than the S3 standard, but when you come to retrieve the file, per GB retrieval fees apply. So obviously when they have put discount on keeping the file, maybe after 2 years or 3 years you're retrieving the file, so they have really not charged you that much. So when you come to retrieve, then they will charge you more than the when you're retrieving than the S3 standard. Well, again, some few cents more per hour, per GB actually. So that's the second one, which is S3 standard IA. Then the third one is S3 intelligent tiering. That is truly intelligent. In what way? So suppose you have here frequently access is this S3 standard, and then there is IA, which is infrequently access. Now suppose you had done some kind of talking to your boss and all the employees, and you as an IT admin, and you've asked them, okay, when you upload a file, so how long do you use that file frequently? What is the trend? What is the pattern? And they say, okay, they say that okay, we use it for 1 month frequently because of the nature of the business, and then after 1 month we just start infrequently using the file. So and then after 3 months, suppose the file is not used at all. So you see that pattern, you check it as well in 2 to 6 months or 1 year, and then you finalize that, okay, yeah, so 1 month the file is frequently used, then second after that onwards it is infrequently used, right? So but what about if there's a pattern that or because of the nature of the job, maybe it's a law firm or maybe publishing firm or something like that, so that the pattern of usage is frequent when the file is uploaded. After maybe suppose 2 months, it is infrequent access, and then after 3 or 4 months again it is frequent, and after 3 or 4 months of that again infrequent, and so on. So the pattern changes between frequent and infrequent, and they still keep on using older files as well after some time. And so then there's an intelligent tiering here. Intelligent tiering actually does monitoring, and it automatically an automation. So what it does is, when it detects the pattern that the file is being frequently used, it keeps the files in the S3 standard, because if you're using frequently the file, it's cheaper to keep it on S3 standard instead of on infrequently storage, because when retrieval charges are more here for retrieving any file, and you're retrieving fast, right? It's frequently accessed storage. So then it sees, intelligent tiering automatically sees that, oh, after whatever time the files are not being used frequently, so it automatically moves the file from standard tier to infrequently accessed. So now it's saving your money. Then it again sees the surge in pattern for frequent usage, it puts it back again to the standard, and then it's not being used, so it puts it back to the infrequent. So that's how it can save your money. And proactively it just checks the pattern and simply keeps moving the file from frequently accessed tier storage class to infrequently accessed storage class. So that's intelligent tiering, right? So in that case, you can just really use that money. You can save the money and let it decide when the pattern changes, if the pattern actually is changing a lot. So long-lived data with changing or unknown access patterns. Again, durability is good. Availability is also 99.9% actually. It's a bit down now. So if we check that, what is 99.9% or 3 nines here instead of 4 nines? 3 nines is 8 hours per year. It could be down, and more than that, then they would reimburse. And that's 86 seconds per day. So 8 hours. Now, intelligent tiering does, have less availability there. Still, availability zones that the data will be copied is still 3, right? And so for both of these, I didn't read the infrequently accessed here. So 30 days you should minimum is for infrequently accessed and intelligent tiering both. Minimum you need to commit for 30 days that you will keep the data there. And for infrequently accessed here, the minimum data size is 128 KB. Less than that, they won't let you transfer that data. So per GB fee, retrieval fee applies. The retrieval is where they charge you more for infrequently accessed. While S3 intelligent tiering, again, it is 3 nines here. The only 3 nines are both in infrequently accessed and intelligent tiering. So the SLA is a little, different here, while 4 nines are here for just the standard tiering, standard storage class. Also, you can see monitoring and automation fees per object apply, no retrieval fees here. So the thing is that it will keep on moving data. Intelligent tiering just keeps on moving data between the two according to the pattern of access. And then comes the S3 one zone IA. So not only that the data is not copied on 3 availability zones, and it's also infrequently accessed. So you have some long-lived, infrequently accessed, non-critical data. Then you put it on one zone IA. It's obviously cheaper than the above 3, and durability stays the same, but now 99.5% is the availability. I think they don't have 99.5 mentioned here, but some bigger tables have that uptime or SLA. They have 99.5% as well. 99.9% was 86, actually 8 hours per year, right? Just 3 nines. So 5 would be maybe 10 or 15 hours. Okay, so then availability zone is also 1. That's it. So obviously you're putting some non-critical data. And 30 days minimum you need to commit for, and minimum size 128 KB. And per GB retrieval fees apply, not resilient to the loss of the availability zone. Obviously, when you put it on one zone and no copy on the other zones, that one zone outage happens, you're not going to access that data until that zone outage is removed. Then comes the S3 Glacier and long-term data archiving with retrieval times ranging from minutes to hours. So you want to save it longer time, but whenever you want to retrieve, you should be able to retrieve within minutes up to hours, right? You should be able to retrieve within minutes or up to hours. So that's what we need to know here. So that's long-term archive, and again durability is there. This one, availability is also good, 99.99% after you restore objects. So when you have recovered or restored objects from that long-term archive, the data will be copied for long-term in 3 availability zones, and minimum commitment you have to make is 90 days, 3 months, and 40 KB is the minimum size. Per GB retrieval fees apply here whenever you, so they are keeping your data very, very cheap here for long term. So obviously they need to support their infrastructure as well. So whenever you come for retrieval, then they give you a bit higher fee for retrieval. So you must first restore archived objects before you can access them. So it's not like within archive you can access. You have to completely copy and successfully fully copy it on your drive, and then you will be able to access it. It's not like in their archive you can open the file and make changes there. You have to fully download to make changes. And then S3 Deep Glacier, Deep Archive, S3 Glacier, Deep Archive. That is archiving rarely accessed data. That's rarely accessed. So whenever you come to retrieve, it's going to be 12 hours to retrieve. After 12 hours, the data will be available, will be made. So it's deep archive and rarely accessed data. So if you think that you may need that data quicker, then you can go for S3 retrieval times ranging from minutes to hours. So that would be something that you need to then think about, that what retrieval time you need. According to that, you choose between Glacier and Glacier Deep Archive. Deep Archive has 12 hours retrieval time. Okay, durability is same, availability is same. It's like yeah. And then there is 3 zones your data will be copied for very long term as well, right? And minimum commitment is 6 months, right? And 40 KB is minimum size, per GB retrieval fees apply. It's the same thing. Then there is reduced redundancy storage, not recommended. Well, that's the first time I'm seeing a vendor saying not recommended. So frequently accessed non-critical data, but it's still frequently accessed, so it's cheaper. You really want to frequently access that, but it's not critical, because the durability is even not 11 nines now, and availability is still 4 nines, and 3 available zones of copies will be available. No minimum storage duration, no billable object size, and no other considerations. So the thing is that it's frequently accessing but non-critical data. It could be more possibility if the hardware side goes down, underlying hardware, that they're not really guaranteeing a lot of that there will be no corruption. So this is the table that needs to be understood. Very good information for the data that you're uploading there. I'm just gonna put that table there as well. Okay, so we were discussing that. Let's just get back to so this is what we were discussing, and by default we're putting this whole bucket as standard frequently accessed data, right? And if we go further excuse me, down there, then there is server-side encryption settings, and this is just so server-side encryption protects data at rest. So I'm going to click learn more here as well, and settings default server-side encryption behavior off. With Amazon S3 default encryption, you can set the default encryption behavior for an S3 bucket so that all new objects are encrypted when they are stored in the bucket. Now I'll just make it right. When they are stored in the bucket, the objects are encrypted using server-side encryption and SSE with either Amazon S3 managed keys, SSE S3, or customer master keys, CMKs, stored in AWS key management services. So KMS is another service that you will have to pay for in order for them to save your encryption decryption keys for your critical encrypted data. Well, that's just all the details are there as well. I'll just put that also here. And if we go further down here, so we see here access control list. So what was access control list that we were talking about? It is this, that you can give read access to people, and object ACL, so objects, and then object ACL. So what is this? This is your permission, that what you can do, and whoever you give access to, well, actually this is whoever you want to give access. So do you want to give some other person only the read permission, or read and write as well? And this is also the table for whether you want that person to be able to give others access of read and write or not. So access for other AWS accounts. You can see down here for object owner, everyone, authenticated users group, anyone with AWS account, right? So for these three types of accounts, what you want to give, read or read and write. And here it says access for other AWS accounts. No other AWS accounts associated with this resource. So suppose you created another AWS account with a separate credit card there. So in that case, do you want to add that other AWS account with another credit card, or the same credit card, but totally different AWS account? Do you want to give that account access here to this bucket? So that's where you can add that other AWS account. And then we go down to tags. So this is just metadata. You can just put some more extra information for this bucket. And metadata itself, another option is there, that is more extra information you can add for this bucket. So if I go up there, so we had just simply uploaded a file here. And second thing is that here, now this is the storage class table, right? So your name on the top right should be showing here, and then this storage class table should be showing as well. So screenshot number 2, S3 storage classes actually. So your name on the right side, and S3 storage classes is the screenshot number 2. Screenshot 2, S3 storage classes. Screenshot 2 is storage classes. Okay, so I'll just put that screenshot now. Screenshot 2, S3 storage classes. Okay, so let's go ahead, and finally we upload. So if we go down here after taking that screenshot, let's just click the upload button now. So that was just one file, but for 100,000 files also, you have to make that consideration first, that what kind of storage class that you want to upload that. Is it a frequently accessed, infrequently accessed, or are there other patterns there? So, or is it just an archive, long-term archive? Now this is well, the file is uploaded, and that's the page, and there on the top right you can see close here, right? So let's click the close button on the top right, and so this file is available here. Now what we can do is when we uploaded the file, we explored some features. Now there is properties here, and permissions, metrics, management, access points. So the thing is that there is properties. Let's go for the properties tab. That's the second one here. So bucket overview, and AWS region is there. Amazon resource name, ARN. This is just an identifying information for this bucket that we can put to any kind of script as well. Creation date March 30, 2021. there's bucket versioning here. That's the feature available. Then if we go down, there's tags, there's default encryption, intelligent tiering archive configuration. So that's another feature here available. Other than that, server access logging, AWS Cloud Trail data events. We're going to go through some of those wherever the labs are possible, and explanation for the others. Event notifications is there, transfer acceleration and object lock, and requester pays, and then there is static website hosting. So lots of features on just the properties page. So first of all, we can go for bucket versioning, and that is versioning is a means of keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. Well, that's versioning, and we talked about that, but let's just simply try it as well. So I'm just going to click edit here. Let's click the edit, and let's click enable for the bucket versioning. So let's click enable for the bucket versioning. And once it is enabled, let's just click the save changes. Once we save changes here, so we can go to the objects tab where we can see one file there. So this is the one file here, and versioning is enabled, right? So what we can do now is that we can go for that file first of all, and we can make some changes here on that file. So remember, we created a text file in the downloads folder in a new folder. We're just going to open that file. We're going to write another sentence there, and then we're going to upload this file again. So does that this same file in our laptop, we're going to make change and upload it. Will that second time upload of the same file will overwrite it, or will it keep the separate versions? So I'm gonna go for this folder here, and I'm just gonna so this is the file that we created before, right? So let's just double click it and just put another line here. So testing versioning. So testing versioning, well, or you could just put anything in here, and I'm gonna just click close here, testing versioning, and then clicking close and save, right? So close and save. So just go ahead and upload that. I'll just simply upload this file. So it's the same file. It should not overwrite this file. It should keep two versions of that. So I'm just going to simply upload this file now, right? I'm going to click upload, and once we click upload, this is add files button here. I'll click the add files, and I'm there inside downloads, inside that new folder, and the file that I changed just now, I'm going to double click that and go ahead and upload. So once we upload that, now once the file is uploaded, so there's a close button on the top right. So the file is there, and what we can see here is the list versions button, and only it appears when we have versioning enabled. So let's just click this list versions, and it just shows that the top file is the latest one, and this below file is the earlier file where we had one line, and this is 2-line file. So the thing is that versioning does work fine. So screenshot number 3 would be versioning works. Screenshot 3, versioning works. Screenshot 3, versioning works. I'm just gonna take screenshot 3. Screenshot 3 versioning works. Okay. And then we can go ahead. And so there is one more thing that we needed to see, and that is if we can see the contents of the file, the latest file that is that is having 2 lines here, right? So how do we see, or suppose you want to share this file to everyone from this bucket. So there's a URL that is provided for every file. Suppose you want to share that specific file to others, and the others can open it in the browser. So are there restrictions for seeing the content of this file, or can we just double click and simply open and we can see the content of the file? So I'm going to click that latest file that we uploaded here. So I'll click on top of this, and then there is that view that is showing here, and you can see that there is a URL that we can give it to anyone, and just for them to see, hey, okay, can you see that version? So yeah, I'm just trying to show this file to you. So I'm just going to click that link here. Does it open a new page? No, it's opened the same page. So it shows me access denied, right? Well, it is showing me access denied because well, there's no public access there, and also that we did not click that option, make public. It's a 2-step process to make the file available. So I'm going to click this back button here. But what about if I want to see this file as an administrator or the owner of this file? So this is for others, not for me, right? This is not for the owner. After giving access, obviously you can also see that, but this is pretty much for others if you want to share the link. But what about if I want to see that? So there's that copy S3 URI, there's that object actions, and there's a open button here. So as an owner, can I see the contents of this file within the browser? So I'm going to click that, open for the same file now, and I can see the content, but this is only I can see, right? Or if suppose you share this URL and somebody else tries to access from this URL, then he or she will be asked for credentials. So I'm just gonna close this. It opened in a second tab. I'm just gonna close this. So what we need to do is we need to make this file shareable with others, or we actually want others to see the content of this file. So how do we open this file for this link? I'm just gonna right click on this link and open link in new tab. Just simply open this in a new tab. Obviously it's still gonna give us error, right? So we need to remove this error. After we do 2 changes, then when we come here and refresh, then it should show us the contents of the file. So what are those 2 changes we need to make in order to show this file's contents to the planet Earth, to everyone else other than the owner? So the first step would be that we need to open the bucket level access. Okay, so where do we go for that? Now, okay, we're inside the file page here, and there's that bucket level or bucket name here. Let's click the bucket here, and so well, this is just showing the whole bucket, And you can see that there's objects, there's properties, there's permissions, matrix, management, access points. But you see here permissions. So let's go to the bucket permissions. Let's go to the bucket permissions. And in the bucket permissions, you remember that during the creation of the bucket as well, so we were seeing that it is on, which means that block all public access is on. We need to turn it off now. And any of those scenarios can be used as well if we understand what those really do. But right now we just need to open the bucket access. So I'm going to click that edit button here and simply open the bucket access. Edit, and it just simply lets us uncheck this. And this actually unchecks all the options. But if you want any ACLs, new ACLs to be totally blocked, or existing or new ACLs to be totally blocked, new bucket policy or access point policy to be blocked, or existing and new bucket policy or access point policy to be blocked, then you can select any of those options. For now, we don't need to select any of those. So we're gonna click Save Changes, block all public access, uncheck, and then Save Changes. So that's the first step here. It does say that updating the block public access settings for this bucket will affect this bucket and all objects within. This may result in some objects becoming public. Well, so if we do this, can we access that file now? So I'll just have to type confirm here, right? So I have to type confirm here. Now, once there is this done, then so unblocking the public access, right? Then we can go inside the object, inside the file. So let's click the objects. Once we click the objects, so that is we need, so well here, before doing anything else, right? Before doing anything else, if you go to that same other link that we opened in the other tab here, and we refresh this, so well, the access denied still there, because we did remove public access. I mean, we did remove block public access, but still I don't have access to that, right? So I'm going to go back here. So this means that no, the file is not still publicly available. So I'm going to go back here. There we need to select the file. That's two-step process I was saying before as well. So select the file and then go to Actions. Drop down until you see this, Make Public. So you need to click this one as well for this particular one file. Suppose you had 5 files here, and whichever file you click this will be actually made public, others will not. So I'm going to click Make Public here, and when public read access is enabled and not blocked by block public access settings, anyone in the world can access the specified objects. Yes, but it's a two-step process. Or you can just, through ACL, give another AWS account which is connected to a credit card, have access to this only and no one else. You can do that too. I'm going to click that Make Public. Now if you refresh after these 2 steps, so now the whole planet can see that too with this URL. So you want to simply share this URL, and this file will be shared. So sharing file in S3 bucket, screenshot 4, sharing file in S3 bucket, screenshot 4, sharing file in S3 bucket, sharing file in S3 bucket, screenshot 4. I'll just take that screenshot now. Sharing file in S3 bucket, screenshot 4. sharing file in S3 bucket, and okay. So Gideon says your screen. How do I get the link? Well, this link here, Gideon. This one. How did we get that? So if I go to S3 and go inside the file, so the link is this object URL here. So right click and just simply open it in open link in new tab. So this is the link within the file. And Mintio says mine just download the file, maybe because I'm using MacBook. Is it okay to screenshot with downloaded file? Download. So Minsyuk, when you click this URL, if I click that, it just opens like this. Guys, anyone else with the Apple or Mac is not able to open this file and is able to only download? So Minsyuk, you were not able to follow all those steps. This means, oh, you're in incognito mode, I guess. Well, it's still access denied, so that's not, download or not. It's the steps are not correct. Okay, bottom. Okay, download it there. But why is the access denied showing to you, Minsio? Access denied should be gone. And it's downloading that? That's what you're saying? RDF file. I hope it's not txt and RDF, but I don't think that's the case. If you had followed all the steps, and I'm sure you did, so it should not happen. Instead of showing the download the file. Okay, take a screenshot of that, Mintio. And Gideon, what error you're seeing there when you're clicking the link? Oh, you're good. That's good. Very good. Very good. Okay, sir. So let's go ahead. So we see that there is that the file access is a two-step process, and let's go back to the bucket level. Let's click the bucket again, and we see that there are properties. So I just wanted to show you that it's a two-step process to share any file, and later we're going to use that for some other lab as well. And before, we needed to know this process here. So let's go to the properties, and in the properties we can see, if we go down more, there is bucket versioning. We tried that. Tags is just you just want to put some more extra information. And encryption, automatically encrypt new objects stored in this bucket. So yes, encryption can be enabled there. So if we click that edit button here, edit button, and so this is default encryption that I click the edit button, right? Default encryption, and I click the edit button. So there's enable here, and in the enable it just goes for SSE, which is server side encryption, or customer side encryption, which is you then have to use the KMS, which is another service that you need to pay for. These are the options, but after that your data is encrypted, and you can just if you log in from this particular account with this particular username password, only then it gets decrypted. Otherwise nobody else can really read that. So I'm going to cancel out from here. We don't need to encrypt that, but these are the options that do show there when you have to when you can encrypt that, if you want to encrypt that. So I'm just going to click cancel here, and we further go down to intelligent tiering archive configuration. So that is try to use the, so Dong is saying try to use the open in action section instead of click the URL link. Yeah, that's strange that normally the URL just simply is supposed to open. I tried and same. Oh, okay. Anyway, so intelligent tiering archive configurations enable objects stored in the intelligent tiering storage class to tier down to the archive access tier or the deep archive access tier, which are optimized for objects that will be rarely accessed for long periods of time. So what is it saying? Intelligent tiering archive. So intelligent tiering does what? It changes between frequently accessed and infrequently accessed files, right? That's what intelligent tiering does. And do you want to archive those files into Glacier? So let's click that create configuration. Let's click this create configuration. So once we click that create configuration, and archive access tier, deep archive. So we don't have to give a name here because we're not going to actually create that, but we need to understand what is this. So archive configuration settings, the configuration name, and then choose a configuration scope. Limit the scope of this configuration using one or more filters. Filters just means that if you've created subfolders there, so you want to use that prefix, or you want to do the archive or send the files to the deep archive, or just the archive, which is Glacier or deep Glacier archive. So wherever you want to send that. So do you want to send all files or just few files in this bucket? So if we go down here, so there's add tag, and the tags just for information, and then there is archive settings. So that's the main setting here. So archive access tier, what is this? If I click this, we're just going to cancel at the end, but if I click that, so it says here, when enabled, intelligent tiering will automatically move objects that haven't been accessed for a minimum of 90 days to the archive access tier. So after 3 months, the intelligent tiering will simply move the files to the archive, and that's a good feature that was not there a few months ago. Archive settings. So intelligent tiering, when you put that option there, and the files, it is for, remember that when the file access pattern changes, suppose it stopped changing, and after 1 year or 2 years nobody is accessing those files, and those files are still, and the bucket is still on intelligent tiering. So now they've added that option that, hey, why not we just simply change or move that away to the archive tier. So retrieval time compatibility to access objects that have moved to the intelligent tiering archive access tier, you must move them back to the frequent access tier, which can take 3 to 5 hours. If you want the files back, it will take 3 to 5 hours for that. An expedited option is available, so you want it faster, obviously pay more a little, and yes, the file retrieval will be expedited. Ensure that this retrieval time is compatible with your application. So just a bit more payment and you get the file faster. Days until transition to the archive access tier, the number of consecutive days without access before tearing down to the archive. So how long do you want to wait for until all the files are sent to the archive tier? And that is whatever number of days you want to put there, but whole number greater than or equal to 90. Minimum you want to use this feature, you need to commit for 90 days and up to 730 days. So deep archive access tier is the other option. We were talking about archive access tier, and then there's a deep archive. If we click that, so that is also just saying that to access objects that move to the intelligent tiering deep archive access tier, you must restore them back to the frequent access tier, which can take up to, as we know already, 12 hours. So that's deep archive, and rarely used files are there, and you want to put some days yourself. Minimum you need to start onwards from 180 days up to 730 days. Okay, so that's the archive access tier and deep archive access tier when intelligent tiering is involved. So okay. So what we can do is we can take a screenshot of this where archive access tier is showing and deep archive access tier is showing and archive settings is showing, right? And obviously your name on the top right is showing. So screenshot 5, yeah. Screenshot 5. Name is Intelligent Tiering Archive Access. So that's the full name. Screenshot 5, Intelligent Tiering Archive Access. Screenshot 5, Intelligent Tiering for Archive Access. So I'm going to copy that. I need to copy this actually. So, Intelligent Tiering Archive Access. Screenshot 5, Intelligent Tiering Archive Access. Screenshot 5, Intelligent Tiering Archive Access. Okay. Well, once you have taken this screenshot with your name at the top right, obviously, then click cancel here. I'm going to click cancel now. And then there is server access logging under the Intelligent Tiering Archive configurations. There is server access logging, and the server access logging is all about access. Yeah, cancel. Okay, cancel. So server access logging here is just it will create a log files. Obviously, that's going to charge you as well for storage. It will keep on creating log files, and log files are just text files that keeps records an event with the timestamp. Records an event with a timestamp. So server access logging is just going to create some extra log files there if you want to know who accessed which file at what time. Was there any? It is all about actually access logging. So who accessed at what time? That's it. Who accessed at what time, right? Okay, so CloudTrail data events, and then CloudTrail is more aggressive logging, and it just creates more diagnostic information about whatever events that happen, and that does include that not only access but also changing a file, deleting a file, downloading a file, uploading a file. So whatever events that happen, diagnostic, and obviously they're going to charge you separately for using CloudTrail, but that really give you detailed diagnostic information about, and it also ends up creating log files which do you will get charged for their storage that they take. And if we go further down here, there's event notifications. Send notification when specific events occur in your bucket. So that's other than those detailed log files up there, you want to actually have a create event notification. Somebody uploads a file, send an email. Somebody downloads a file, send an email. Or delete a file, change a file, and all these kinds of events that can happen. You want to be notified of any of those events or specific events. You can just create a event notification here. Notification, whenever notification is involved, there is another service called SNS, Simple Notification Service, SNS, and so that's separate service, and obviously they can charge you few cents. Whenever I say charge, for companies it's peanuts. It's like just few cents per. Now when it's notification, I think it's 50,000 or 100,000 emails for $2 or $3, and then 100 SMS for $1. So for companies, it's not much. And when it comes to transfer acceleration, so what is transfer acceleration? It is that if you want to upload a lot of data, suppose you have a huge amount of data and you want to upload. So do you want to use AWS's transfer acceleration service that will transfer your data faster, or you want to just not use this and upload with whatever bandwidth you have already with your internet connection? So what we're going to do is we're going to click we're not going for edit. We're not actually enabling the transfer acceleration. We don't have any huge data to upload, but we're going to go for learn more here. In fact, I can send you that link in WhatsApp, and that I want to show you a specific page that actually shows you some comparisons there for transfer acceleration, and see more information about that. Making requests. If I go further down here, example buckets. Okay, if I go down here, getting started with transfer acceleration, enabling and using the transfer acceleration. So I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to send you the final link. Let me just go ahead and keep going ahead, and I will send you the final link here. Configuring transfer acceleration. Oh, actually I'm back. There was that comparison that it shows. And let me just get you speed comparison tool. So it used to be the main click there, but they just wanted to speed comparison tools here. So let me just show you this link. You need to click actually this link. I'm just gonna put it in chat, and I'm gonna put it WhatsApp chat as well as, so you can click the link that I put in WebEx chat and WhatsApp chat. And once you do that, so it actually starts, if you've used the speed test service, right? So how long does it take? What is your upload? What is your download? But it's kind of that. It's not exactly that tool. It just shows you that with AWS transfer acceleration and without AWS transfer acceleration, how your data will perform. So it's just telling you the performance, upload performance of your internet connection, and if you had used with transfer acceleration, how fast could your upload be. So it's just saying that here, upload speed comparison in the selected region, S3 direct upload speed, this is our internet connection, the top line. S3 accelerated transfer upload speed. So upload complete, and they're saying that, to me they're saying that if you upload with transfer acceleration of AWS, which is a separate price, then it will be 32% faster your data will be uploading. So it used to be very good. I used to beat the transfer acceleration. My connection used to beat that, but I think everyone's using that. The whole planet is using that. My kids are using that. So So my connection upload is, transfer acceleration is faster than my connection. But you can also see that if you were in San Francisco or Oregon, Dublin, Frankfurt, Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, Sydney, Sao Paulo, and so on, right? If you were there, so, and if you had used the transfer acceleration from there, so how fast it would have been, and if you had used your connection, if you have uploaded from here to there, actually. So now, if you're uploading to US East 1, so transfer acceleration wins here. And so if you see this green here or red, whichever, so this is screenshot number 6, which is AWS transfer acceleration. So whatever number you see there, and you need to, okay, so yeah, that's a nameless one. So okay, just take a screenshot of what you see there, then your number. And yeah, even the above one doesn't show anything. So I'll just actually go for transfer acceleration here, and whatever number it shows you. Screenshot 6, S3 transfer acceleration. Screenshot 6, S3 transfer acceleration. Screenshot 6, S3 transfer acceleration. So we're not going to actually edit that. In fact, we didn't. Oh, I need to put that here. Screenshot 6, S3 transfer acceleration. Okay, so there is, let's go back there and to transfer acceleration. We didn't edit that because we don't need to be paying for this. So transfer acceleration, and then there under that is object lock. Object lock is obviously disabled now, and we can't edit that because we can only do that during the wizard, but not after the bucket is created. Existing bucket, you cannot create object lock there. So you can just create that again. So then there is requester pays. Requester pays is a feature where you offer a file in the bucket, and the requester downloads that file, but the whole expense of the bandwidth expense will be actually covered by the requester. The bill should go to the requester, that's what we're saying, and not us. Suppose you are sharing some file or application file, and that is, normally you offer a license for that too, and the file needs to be produced. But suppose you are actually offering that file without free, instead of to ask other to purchase a license. But then you say that okay, you can download that free, but whatever download charges are, the billing will go to you. So so requester pays just means that those who request the file and download that, the bandwidth charges will be sent, the bill will be sent to them. So that's just a feature there, and then comes the static website. And static website hosting is a very good feature that, so your S3 bucket could become a web server, right? Your S3 bucket could become a web server. So that is something that that's a bit longer lab now. So we could just take a break. This time I'm not saying that. Well, the thing is that according to the college, we need to be giving a break there if it's in demand. So let's take a break and come at. So then it's a bit longer nap, so we're gonna do that. Okay. All right. So let's check it out. All right. So what we were doing was the static website. So let's just get going with the static website here. And so the static website is a very good feature that the bucket becomes a web server for us, and the web server really is it just hosts the static website. So if I go there, there are two types of websites that you can create. There's a static website hosting that you can create, so it hosts static website, and then there's dynamic website. And the difference would be that in the static website you cannot have server-side scripting, while in a dynamic website you do have server-side scripting there. So just the what we can say in other words as well, that suppose you have backend servers there from where you're retrieving data. There's a front-end website, and then there's a backend server there as well. The front-end website is just receiving all the traffic, and the backend servers are just saving all the information and also retrieving a lot of scripts from the backend as well. If there was a suppose centrally available Java related files and scripts. While here there is a client-side scripting that happens here. So with a static website, whatever you put on the page, maybe scripts there on the page, that only works, and you don't have any backend servers there to connect to. So the static website hosting is the only type that is supported by the bucket here. The bucket becomes a web server, and it can execute the HTML code that you put there. So use this bucket to host a website, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to try to create a Notepad file. Inside that Notepad file, we're going to put some HTML code, and we're going to change that index.txt file to a index.html file. So if I go back to the page here, I have put the HTML code way up there, this one. So the HTML code is here, and it says this is a snack samosa. So it says here, let's create a new notepad and blah blah blah. So it starts from here till so I'm going to tell you where to put that, but this is the code that we need to put in a txt file, text file that we're about to create now in that same folder, downloads folder, inside which we create a new folder, right? So there we're going to create a new file, index.txt. We're going to put this there, this HTML code there inside index.txt, and then we're going to then upload it to bucket and check that if this file actually if this file's HTML code actually get executed by the bucket. If the bucket is acting like a web server, it will, otherwise it won't. Okay, I thought that was a question. So the first step, let's go ahead. Really, you know what, my Bluetooth mouse just went on strike just now. Seriously. Okay, that's really frustrating. Do cell batteries. Alright, so it's me and my laptop mouse pad. That really sucks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's go ahead to our laptop downloads folder and create a text file called index.txt. So I'm just going to go to my downloads folder, and there you had created a file, your first name dash file, right? Now we're going to create a file called index.txt. So right click here anywhere and then go to new, right? And then to txt. So let's click that txt document, text, and then you can see here that .txt is showing and the new document. Suppose you're not seeing the .txt file in that, suppose I click that now and I can see the extension, right? But if some of you are not seeing the extension, then you can go to view, right? When you click that, you should be seeing this file extension box. You need to check the file extension box. So first click view and then check the file extension box, then you will be able to see the .txt, and this is the only way you can change the extension from .txt to .html, and that extension file needs to be uploaded to Bucket after we enable the static website hosting feature, right? So if you have selected that already, okay. Okay, so here I'm just gonna click that and simply change that to index. Only this, not the txt, index only, right? Because that's the extension, and we're not changing it yet, but I'm going to show you how. So I'm just going to once you have changed the file name index.txt, you don't have to type .txt here. If you have to type, then obviously you did not click the view button and you did not click this. You need to check it, so the extension should be separately showing there. So I'm just going to double click that to open it and then copy paste that code that I was showing you, and I'm going to paste that code here in the WebEx chat and WhatsApp chat as well. I'm going to double click this file. It's an empty file. I'll tab here and go grab the code. Control C. I'll paste the whole code in WebEx chat and in WhatsApp chat as well. And then, since I copied it, so I'm just gonna put it in that index.txt. Simply just copy paste here, right? Control V. That's it. And no, well, that's not it. We simply need to change the extension of .txt to .html. But how do we do that? We're gonna click the file. Be careful here. We're gonna click the file. We're gonna go for save as, right? So click the file, save as. When it opens, so you have to be careful here. you cannot just save it. You have to, we cannot save it in the .txt. We need to change the extension to .html, right? So I'm going to select down this save as type first, and I don't want it to be .txt. So I'm going to click the only other option, that is all files, right? And once I click the all files option, then I can simply only change the .txt to .html, right? So instead of .txt, after putting the save as type as all files, instead of .txt, I'm just going to type html, right? So now your extension will be changed, and you will see the icon of IE or actually Edge or Chrome. So I'm just going to save it now. So hopefully your index has to be exactly this spelling, INDEX, or just remember the spelling, whatever you put there, just remember that spelling, because we need to tell up there in AWS bucket static website. So static website will ask that which file is the first file that it needs to load on the web server. So whatever spellings you put there, you need to put exactly these spellings in static website wizard when we open that. So make sure that you remember what you type here in terms of, otherwise it's not going to work for you. So index.html and click save. So I'm going to close this notepad and check it out if the icon changed in the downloads folder, in that the folder that we created. I'm going to go back to the downloads folder. Yes, so it's index.html and the icon also changed to Chrome. So this much we need to do here, and now we need to go back to the AWS bucket, and we need to enable that feature called static website hosting. And when we are enabling that, it's going to ask the exact file name, index.index.html, exactly that spelling it will ask now. So make sure the spellings are correct. Okay, I'm going to minimize this and go for the AWS bucket. There's the static website hosting. So I need to go to the right side and enable the static website hosting and click that. Obviously I'm gonna enable that, right? Okay, so it says host a static website, or you want to redirect request for an object. Well, we don't want to redirect request for an object from some kind of website or that you may have purchased from domain registrar like GoDaddy.com or others. So host a static website, use the bucket endpoint as the web address. That's the first thing. And so above I didn't change anything, but below here index document, it's asking to specify the home or default page of the website. So it does give that example. Okay, mainly the most probably the web developers would just put this name. It could be any other name as well. So whatever name is there, it will exactly look for this spelling file, and which we will be uploading. So index.html is the file that's the first or the home page of our site. Suppose that's the home page of our site. Second thing is error document. So it says here that, okay, suppose you do not land on the first page, and if you land on this error.html file, which we're not going to create, but it is similar to this file. It's an HTML file, but you would just type here that, oh, in case you landed on this page, this means that the index.html did not load. Please inform the administrator, and then put the email of the administrator there, and maybe a number as well. And if they landed on the error.html, they could just call or email the administrator of the site. We don't need to create that, but we talked about the purpose. Then there are some any script that you want, JSON script that you want to put there. You can code you want to put there, you can put. So index.html, that's all we need to do here, but then we need to upload that file now. So first of all, if you have put that index.html in the index document, then let's go down further, and the only thing here is save changes. So let's click save changes. Okay, so if we go down to the bottom where the static website hosting is, now it says first of all enabled, but it also shows a URL that is the official URL for this bucket, and we can give this URL to anyone who wants to access that web page that we are about to load, right? So this is for the planet to see. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to go way up to the objects section where we can upload files and folders. So there's the objects here, and in the objects we will upload that file, and remember it's going to still give you access denied, right? Because we need to make that file public in order for that file to actually work. So I'm going to click that upload now to upload that file that we prepared as a home page. So I click the upload button, and then we add files just like before, and it's in the same folder where we created the file index.html. So I'm just going to double click that to upload it. Simple, right? And all right, so that's it, upload, right? Once we upload, we're not going to open this file. Okay, once we upload, so I'm just going to click the close button because the upload is done successfully. So I'm going to click the close button here. So the index.html is up. Well, because this bucket is also a web server for only static websites, so it's going to, and we have told that which exact file with what exact spellings is the one that is the home page, so the bucket can actually access that file now. We need to just make sure one more thing, and then we're gonna go back to grab that URL that was offered by the static website option feature. So I'm going to select this file. Why? Because we need to make public, otherwise it's going to give you access denied. So I'm going to go to the actions, and so we need to click make public. So I'm going to click make public here for the index.html. Okay, so successfully edited public access, or it is made public, so I'm just gonna click close. We're not gonna double click that file now. We don't need to open this file directly. Why? Because there's a proper URL provided by the static website that does it, right? So I'm just gonna click properties here. Why? Because I need to go to that feature or service, actually feature static website hosting, and I need to grab that URL that the static website hosting was offering. So if I go way down here, so this is that URL, right? So I can go here, and I want to open it as a separate tab. Okay, so this is just showing exactly that the code is executed, and can show again with the step to make public. Okay, Harshan says that. So guys, it's gonna be screenshot next. I think it was 6 or 7. Okay, so how to make public, Harshan is asking. And Harshan, you need to go to objects and click the index.html, actions, and you need to go down to this make public, then go back to properties and go down and grab that URL from the static website hosting feature, right? So hopefully you click that and then just simply go down to properties, and so then you need to grab this URL. So just click here. So guys, this is going to be, now I am really struggling with the mouse here to really hate this laptop based one. I should have a backup mouse. So we already had so this is screenshot 7. Okay, so screenshot 7, static website hosting works. Screenshot 7, but your URL will be showing here with your name. So screenshot 7, static website hosting works. So excuse me, screenshot 7 with the URL, you need to take the screenshot. Static website hosting works is the name. Screenshot 7, static website hosting works. Okay, reached. Screenshot 7, static website hosting works. Screenshot 7, static website hosting works. Okay, so then we can go back here to management console. We're going to go ahead, go up, and so here, properties. We were in properties, and the final at the bottom of it was the static website hosting. So we're going to go to permissions here. So let's click the permissions tab. And in the permissions tab, we have permissions overview. Objects can be public, and if you go down, so first we already have talked about the block public access, and there are ACLs and we saw already ACLs that you can actually add another AWS account, and for everyone you want to open it, or for specific accounts you want to open it, you want to open it as read or read write. So that was the ACL configuration there. But then there is bucket policy configuration or section here as well, and that bucket policy just says that, hey, whatever policy you want to create, whatever kind of restrictions, permissions you want to put there, if you have the JSON code for that, then you can implement that. So it just provides that area to put a code, and that code is going to offer a policy, and whatever the policy says, it will just get implemented. Now, so that's how it works, and you just have to have the JSON code for whatever you want to do. And if we click here, learn more for this, the example, I will give you a code there, JSON code. but before that, so policies and permissions in Amazon S3, and in its most basic sense, a policy contains the following elements: resources. These are buckets, objects, access points, and jobs. While actions are for each resource, you want to have some kind of action done, what they can do, what they cannot do, and or you just want to list it, or you want to set it, or you want to execute it. So, and then there's effect, what the effect will be when the user requests a specific action. Also, principal, which user account that restriction is being implemented, and condition, on what conditions the restriction should be implemented. So if we go further down here, so it also shows a sample bucket policy. So here the following example bucket policy shows the effect, principal, action, and resource elements. The policy allows Dave, a user in account ID, whatever the ID is, S3 get object. So he can get object, or try, he can get information, get bucket location, what's the location, what's the region, and list bucket, whatever the contents of the buckets he can list. So all three are harmless. It's just enumeration, or it's just search that is going on. And Amazon S3 permissions on the AWS example bucket one. So that's how the JSON code or the bucket policy is written there, that there's a version you can give, ID of the policy you can give, statement, then in that you define that the SID or security identifier, that is just the name here, and then effect is allow. So let them do. If you can just put the deny here as well. Principal, and that is principal just means which user on which user or group is getting these action items. And action items are get object, get. If it starts with get or list, it's harmless. It's just retrieving information. And on which bucket. So there's that ARN, right? So that's a resource name, and that's the identity of a bucket that you need to grab. So the bucket name, what action is allowed, who has been given this action list to execute, and is it allow or is it a deny. So these are very clear and straightforward kind of permissions, or the way they have put it out, that we can see and understand what's really going on here. We don't have to decode anything. Like decode means that get the so that's what JSON does. It gives you human readable code, right? That code you don't have to further translate by grabbing all the vocabulary, or all the don't need to read a lot of books to really translate. What does that mean? What does this mean? So that's just one example, but what we can implement is, so I'm just going to give you a code that is even simpler than this, and that's inside OneNote, which I will copy. Okay, so it's this. Now this is a simpler code. That example bucket policy, put your bucket ARN after resource. So obviously now you need to look for your bucket ARN, which is just an identity information. So I'm going to show you where it is, but its version, it could be any date you can put there, statement, SID, or just the identifying name for this whole code, public read. You are going to allow, effect is allow, and to whom? To public, everyone, asterisk, right? Do what? S3 get object and get object version. So object would be any files and folders inside that bucket. that you're allowing, again, harmless, but obviously you're opening access to read access, but the public can see that bucket. So we're just going to test this code. First, we're going to do the allow and then check that does it really open up our bucket, and you will see, one message there showing that yes, now the public can read. Then we're going to come back to the script and we're just going to simply deny here. Instead of allow, we're just going to type deny, right? And then execute that bucket policy, and that message will be gone that the public can read now the whole bucket. So what we need to do here is we need to, and every one of you need to actually grab the ARN of your bucket, which starts from ARN and ends at whatever unique name you gave there, right? So where is that ARN? So I'll just copy this, right? So open your Notepad. I'll just go to run, type Notepad, and open it because I need to make a change. I need to put the ARN of my bucket, which is the identity address of the bucket. So you can just open Notepad and copy this. So I'm just going to copy this whole in the WebEx and also in WhatsApp. So copy this, but don't execute it obviously, because you need to replace it with the ARN of your bucket, which is different from mine obviously. So how do we know, where do we go to get that ARN? At the start I did show you, so I'm back to, so once you've copied that in Notepad, that code, so I'm going to go up here to show you where to grab the ARN of your bucket, right? So I'm going to go up from the bucket policy until I go to objects. Really? Was it objects or properties? I think properties. Yeah, properties. So go to properties and you see this. So yours is different than mine. Amazon resource name, that's the address of the bucket. So once you have gone to your ARN for the bucket, you need to click this, copy, right? Bucket ARN copied, right? And where's my Notepad? Where do I paste it? See this? You need to keep the slash and asterisk there, but just change this this guy only, right? So do not remove the slash, do not remove the star, just Control V on top of this. So my bucket ARN is there instead of the sample ARN. So hopefully you put your bucket ARN here, keeping the slash and asterisk there, and the quotes obviously there. So the only change is this ARN. Now we can just copy that inside the bucket policy. Right click, copy, right? And where is the bucket policy? It is in permissions tab. So if we go down, and can we copy it here, or we need to click the edit button, paste it here obviously. So I'm going to click the edit button here and I'm going to simply paste it. Control V, oops, okay, click here, right click, paste. Well, it is pasted here. Hopefully you've pasted yours exactly like that, and all I need to do is save. To check if you go way down here, there's a save changes here. So we're going to save it and check if there's an error or not. There shouldn't be, but let's just check it out. So save changes. Okay, the first thing I see here is a red publicly accessible. So yes, the code worked. Access, permissions overview access is public to the whole bucket. And obviously we don't want that. But there's a get access, or whatever actions we allowed, those actions are accessible, doable now. So as we get object and get object version. But this is how you need to just first search code, JSON code, and then you say change allowed to deny. Yeah, but first of all, we're going to do that, Eric. But right now, I'm just explaining that this is how you go for any kind of code that you can gather from the huge repository of AWS and add any kind of permissions you want, right? So first of all, before we click the deny, which we will have to, you can just put on this page screenshot 8 bucket policy works, and your name on the top right should show here. So just this bucket policy and the script. Oh, Gideon says got an error. John says also unknown error, unexpected error occurred, API response, action does not apply to any resources in statement. Well, I think the AR and copy paste may have some issues. So Gideon and John, you can just take a screenshot of the error, and that will be a screenshot number 8. Okay, wow, I'm actually, you know what, I'm using my laptop mouse pad. Must be written in valid JSON format. Course configuration must be, well, Jason, you can just take the screenshot of this one. Oh, sorry, Gideon. But if you want to just redo that, you can later see the video and redo that as well. Right now, if the error comes, it's just edit that and just try to paste it exactly like this, and make sure that your ARN was copy pasted exactly that way, and the whole ARN was copied that way. So it's all about the copy pasting and the correct place in the correct place. So, but you can just take the screenshot of the error, which will be okay for screenshot 8, and you can just because it's recorded, so you can always follow it anytime. So screenshot 8 bucket policy works, or in case of error, kind of works, or works for others, you can also say, or just not work. But well, majority it works, so you can say works for others. So bucket policy works, that's screenshot 8. Oh yeah, where do I go? Screenshot 8 bucket policy works. All right. So we go back. Now instead of allow, we just remove the allow and simply put deny there. So I'm just going to click edit to this bucket policy. It's the same thing that we did before, edit and paste the actual policy. Now we edit and simply make one small change here, and that is, instead of allow that I just removed, I'm just putting deny, right? So everyone deny get object version actions. So instead of allow, deny, nothing much here to do, just change the allow to deny within the two codes, within the codes. Save changes. So that message, the red message here and here, is gone, right? So it's not all out access, it's not a party for everyone. So objects can be public, can be if you go for make public option, otherwise they're not public. So the bucket policy works fine, and so this is the bucket policy showing here. And if we go further down, excuse me. Yeah, carry on. So you put your JSON code there. Yep, it seems to be okay. Object, resource. Yeah, you're good, but if it still doesn't work, then it could be anything else. So that's why I'm saying that this could be troubleshooted later as well, but your code is okay. It doesn't have any issues. Yeah. So your code is okay, but that's what I'm saying, that just take a screenshot of the error, and you can just repeat if you want to really do that later as well, because the time restraint here. So here, we have done the bucket policy, and then we go down to the access control list, ACL. Although we saw that before as well, but this is where you can edit it. And bucket owner, your AWS account, obviously your AWS account, this one, right? And then there is everyone public access. You want to give everyone access, you can just do that. And then authenticated users, anyone with an AWS account. So anyone with an AWS, which is a separate AWS account with either same or different credit card attached. This means any other AWS account, obviously. And then there is a S3 log delivery groups. You want to create log files, so you need to give then write permissions for the log files to be written on this bucket. So either you give to any other AWS account access, or simply and that access as list write and read write. So that's just if you have any other AWS account, you just simply add the ARN of that account. If you go further down here, so there is a cross origin. Now this is a cross origin resource sharing CORS. The basic purpose of CORS is, if you have, and it says here as well, the CORS configuration written in JSON defines a way for client web applications that are loaded in one domain to interact with resources in a different domain. So CORS configuration written in JSON defines a way for client web applications that are loaded. So if you have one, and now this CORS option did came in the Azure Active Directory as well, which we may not have talked about, but CORS is all about that if you have an application connected to one domain and you have another application connected to another domain that you may have purchased and added it here, so it's going to let you do cross-domain communication. So this requires a lot of coding, and you being the developer of that application, then one application of one domain can access the other application in another domain. Otherwise, normally it's not possible. So a lot of coding is involved, and also that if you're a developer of that particular application connected to one domain, then you come here and really write the code, select the code for the application to be put here, for the applications to talk to each other across domains. So other than this, so we can go ahead and go up. And then there is metrics here. So metrics obviously is the monitoring of your bucket, and explore metrics for usage, request, and data transfer activity within your bucket. Metrics are also available in Amazon CloudWatch. So CloudWatch is one-stop monitoring application for pretty much every services monitoring you can do from CloudWatch. They will charge, just like CloudTrail is a separate service, and they will charge you for that some cents per hour. So CloudWatch is also a service that they will charge you, a monitoring service for pretty much every other service, that they would charge you some cents per hour or per GB, however they want to go for. So, but the metrics, it would show that what is the size of the bucket and total number of files and folders inside the bucket. It would show if we have enabled CloudWatch, and it would they would start charging you for using the CloudWatch to send metrics to this screen here. So obviously it's a paid service for companies. Obviously it's going to be, if it's a very critical data, they would really want to monitor that. So storage class analysis, analyze storage access patterns to help you decide when to transition objects to the and to the. Wow, hey, this is the world's biggest CSP, top CSP, right? Cloud service provider, and it made a grammar mistake. So if anyone reports that, maybe they have a big reward for that, and you might become millionaire out of that. Okay, let's get out of this dream. And so to the appropriate storage class. So what they're saying is that you want analysis to be there, that which data was transferred to which. Oh, great, fixed it, man. Cool, Gideon. Way to go. Okay, so here, create analytics configuration. So this is just going to give you analysis of how much data was transferred by intelligent tiering to frequently access storage class, and how much data was transferred when to the infrequently access storage class. So it simply analyzes for you. Yes, Gideon, it was screenshot 8. Bucket policy works. Way to go, man. Wow, cool. Okay, so replication metrics, and that is replication time control not enabled for any replication rules. To receive replication metrics, choose go to replication. When you create replication rules, enable replication time. So this is talking about an upcoming topic, which is replication, right? And but it's all about monitoring, and you enable that. The monitoring is done by another service that starts charging you. So then comes the management. If you go to the management, there are two very interesting services here, and that is lifecycle rules and replication rules. So lifecycle rules are that automatically your infrequently accessed data should move to the infrequently accessed storage class, right? Automatically, and then automatically, if the file is still not used, it should just further move to Glacier. So I'm going to click that create lifecycle rule. So once we click the create lifecycle rule under management, so here, so this page opens. Create lifecycle rules, and let's just type the name here, your first name dash lifecycle rule, let's put your first name dash lifecycle rule, and then go down to this rule applies to all objects in the bucket. So let's click that. And all objects, if you want the rule to apply to specific objects, you must use a filter to identify those objects. Choose limit the scope of this rule using one or more filters, and I click acknowledge. Oh, Keith says he doesn't have that page. Which page? This lifecycle conversion? How come? If I go back here, so Keith, you are on. If I click this, so I'm on management under the bucket. This is a management tab. When I click that, so there's a create lifecycle rule. So Keith, you can follow the bucket and then management, and then click create lifecycle rule. I only have metrics. Oh, guys, anyone else can see the create lifecycle rule? Or no one can see the create lifecycle rule? Okay, Harshan can. Brady's good. Okay, hey, so Kingsley is also good. So means you good. Hey, everyone's seeing that. So Keith, how come you're not? How come you're not? Well, Keith, you can just share a screenshot metrics, and access point should be showing, and if management is not showing, or even access point is not showing, so just take a screenshot of this area of the bucket, right? Refresh the whole page and then come there and then click the management if you're not seeing that, Keith. Okay, so let's click create lifecycle rule. Yeah, you have already created that. I gave the name, your first name dash lifecycle rule, and then select the second one. This rule applies to all objects. I acknowledge. You can just select that too, right? And then we go down to these options. So there's a transition current versions of objects between storage classes. So if I select that, transition current versions of objects, right? So it shows you this transition current versions of objects, and there are further options here, right? So, and if you click the transition previous version, so it then just shows you another window below here. So whatever you select up there, there will be a window that will be appearing here. So I'm just not going to go for previous versions, right? I'm going to go for transition current versions. So first of all, it's saying that transition current versions of objects between storage classes. So storage is IA days after object creation. So it's saying that obviously you have uploaded it to the standard version, standard storage class, right? The frequently accessed storage class. So now after how many days are you willing to transfer the file to infrequently accessed storage class? So suppose we go for 30 days, and after 30 days, what do you want to do? So 30 days of creation of file in the standard storage class, it's going to move automatically to the standard infrequently accessed storage class, right? Automatically. So then you go for add transition here, and then you say that you want to go for 30 days. After 30 days, you want to move it to intelligent tiering, or you want to go for one zone IA, which is actually if you don't want it's cheap, but infrequently accessed and one zone, so no availability. So after how many days you want to go to Glacier, right? So I'm going to click the Glacier here. So after, I think minimum is 90 days for this. So after 30 days of creation of file in the standard storage, it's going to automatically move to the standard infrequently accessed. After 90 days of the total creation of the file, it's going to move to the Glacier automatically. Or you can just change the days. You can change the number of days to whatever company agrees to. But if you want to go for, and you can just go for I acknowledge here as well. Well, after this, still there's a add transition written here. So once it is moved to Glacier, that is already a long-term archive, but let's click the add transition again, and then it gives you the option, directly the option of Glacier Deep Archive, how many days you want to wait. Minimum is, as we know, 180 days. So this is how the transition can automatically be configured in this particular bucket, that whatever file you upload in this bucket, within 30 days it's going to move to IA in frequently accessed, then after 90 days it's going to move to Glacier, and after 180 days or 6 months it's going to move to the Glacier Deep Archive. So you want to do all these all this transition automatically, then this is the way to do it. And for the previous file or the current file, I just went for the current file here. So screenshot number 9 would be AWS lifecycle rule action, and it should show 3090-180 and your name on the top right. So AWS, no, it's not AWS, it's S3 lifecycle rule actions. S3 lifecycle rule actions. S3 lifecycle rule actions. Okay, so I'm just going to take a screenshot number 9 here. S3 lifecycle rule actions. Wow, take the screenshot on laptop mousepad is a challenge. S3 lifecycle rule actions. Okay, so screenshot 9 was S3 lifecycle rule actions, and let's go back. So we don't need to really create that because obviously we're going to get rid of the bucket itself as well. So we're going to go down here and cancel out from here. So let's just go down, and but this is the way, the concept and the way it is configured. So let's cancel out of this, right? And other than lifecycle rule, so we're back to the management, and then there is on the same page there is another very critical feature, and that is cross-region replication, or the replication rules as it is known here, but it is actually cross-region replication. So very interesting. You want to have your data copied across different regions, then this is where you come and do this. So before we go ahead, so obviously our data is in North Virginia, right? But the bucket that we created was in North Virginia, but now we can go for any other region. So in order to create a copy of your data in any other region, you need to create a bucket in the destination region, right? So we will be creating a bucket in, suppose, Singapore region, right? So in Asia, and I don't know what the number is, but it's we can go for Singapore region. So first we will create a bucket in the Singapore region, right? Second thing, we're going to create this replication rule. So what's the purpose of this? Purpose is whatever data you put here in North Virginia region bucket should automatically copy in the Singapore bucket or Europe bucket or wherever you put that bucket, other region, whichever other region you want to put. So this would be just for backup, or maybe you have actually clients, suppose, in Singapore region as well, and they would just connect to their nearest region and download the files. One more thing about replication rules is that you cannot so suppose there are existing files, right? If there are existing files, I'm just going to click that learn more here. While I'm going to explain, I'll just grab the, wow, serious. I'm doing that with my laptop mousepad. Really, I hate that. So that's just replicating objects. But I just wanted, what I was saying was that if you have existing files and you just configured replication today, so the existing files will not automatically get replicated. Only newer files will be replicated. And so that's the first rule of thumb when you configure that the existing files will not get replicated, only the new files will get replicated. Second thing is, well, I still want to replicate my existing files, so what do I do? So in that case, what you do is you simply download those existing files, then you delete those files from the bucket, then you upload those existing files again. Now the bucket thinks these are new files, and the replication rule applies to whatever got uploaded, and you get to replicate the existing file this way, that you show that they are actually new files while they were existing. So while they're there and we configure the replication, they're not going to get copied to the other bucket. That's the main thing to understand. So what we can do here is that we're going to go up to the S3 level. Before we come here and configure anything, we're going to go up there to S3 level, Amazon S3. Let's go there. Let's go there. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to create, oh, there are some who, for the code, they did not click deny after that. Okay, I didn't ask for a screenshot, maybe that's why. So okay guys, here let's create a new bucket, and that will be Singapore bucket, right? So let's click create bucket. Let's create a new bucket, right? So we're going to create a new bucket, and we're going to call it your first name dash Singapore, all small case guys, bucket. Oh, everyone's going to write the same thing. Well, I hope our names are different. Okay, your first name Singapore bucket dash and something unique, right? So I'm sure very few of you would know what I'm about to write. So jalebi. Okay, it's a sweet thing, sweet snack, but majority of you will not know that. Okay, anyway, so just write something unique here, so your bucket name will not be caught, and you don't have to think something else. So guys, we need to change the region. So where is Singapore region? There you go. AP Asia Pacific dash Southeast 1 is actually Singapore. AP Southeast 1 is Singapore. So I'm just going to select that Singapore here, right? We're creating this bucket, so we're just going to go way down after. So you put the name, you select the AP Southeast 1 Singapore, and don't do anything else. Oh, okay, you need to enable versioning, guys. You need to enable versioning. Cross-region replication requires versioning. If you do not enable versioning, cross-region replication will not work. So, okay, can you say go up? So, your first name, Singapore bucket, and whatever you type there, unique name, and Asia Pacific Singapore AP Southeast 1. Hopefully Gideon is good. Harshan, you're good as well. Okay, so Harshan is about to say good, so I'll get that. I accept that. Hopefully you're done. I'm going down. Okay, so we just go down, but you need to select bucket versioning, otherwise cross-region replication will not work. Select versioning for Singapore bucket. That's it. Now we go way down and simply create and 8. Okay, so let's click create bucket. Make sure you enable versioning. Make sure you enable versioning, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, create bucket. So hopefully it lets us create that many buckets. Whew. Okay, now we're talking. So guys, now we need to go inside our North Virginia bucket, and we need to create a replication rule that lets us copy automatically the new file from North Virginia bucket to Singapore bucket, right? So let's go inside the North Virginia bucket, and let's go to management in the North Virginia bucket, management, and go down to replication rule. Go down to replication rule. So let's click create replication rule. I'm going to click that create replication rule now, and so we can just type here your first name dash n dot Virginia dash 2 dash Singapore. Okay, your first name, North Virginia to Singapore, and your first name dash North Virginia to Singapore, and then we go down, right? Name, and then it's asking for the source bucket, which is, it gets it, it's North Virginia. And do you want to copy all the objects in the bucket? Yes, that's the second one. I'm going to select the second one. Yes, I want to copy all the objects in the bucket. Second thing, destination. So you can replicate objects across buckets in different AWS regions. So yeah, we know that. Specify a bucket in another account or choose a bucket in this account. So you can even, if you have another AWS account with the credit card, different credit card or same, you can just copy the data to another AWS account's bucket as well. But we're going to choose a bucket in this account. So no change here. But now we're going to go for the destination bucket, right? So let's browse S3 and go for your named Singapore bucket. Let's click browse and go for your named Singapore bucket, right? Your named Singapore bucket. And if you have chosen your named Singapore bucket, just go ahead and click choose path. Right, so you have chosen your named Singapore bucket, and IAM rule, actually, you know what, if we go to, sir, how did you get this window? How did I get this window? It's a create replication rule. So duplicate, oh, choose a destination bucket. Okay, that window, just scroll down and you will get it. So if I scroll down, so this is it. Choose a bucket. So this is the destination. You need to be here. Can't choose destination. All it says, oh, Really? ML can't detect whether versioning is enabled on the destination bucket. I can't choose my bucket name. So Brady says, and Khalid says, can't choose bucket. And so Brady, I think you did not click the versioning on the second bucket. Names only goes from A to J. Oh, is that the error? J to Z not there. Okay, where are we? Which exact window are we talking about here? Oh, when you click browse, then you don't see that? Choose a bucket, okay. There's a page 2 here. Up till K I can see. And then I'll go to other page. And up till P I can see. So yeah, it's on 2 pages. Maybe that's why we're not able to see that, right? Okay, ready's good. No problem, no problem. So, okay, guys, here cancel. I'm just gonna cancel. Oh, but you have to choose your bucket name, and then I did choose. Yeah, I chose my destination bucket, Singapore, right? So once you have chosen that, let's go further down here. Do we need an IAM role? Actually, if we select just go ahead and select the create new role, which means that it's going to create a new role for you, and it's going to put all the required permissions automatically itself. So what you need to do is just click this IAM role, simply select the first one, which is create new role. Right? So just select that. It will create a new role with all the required permissions. So encryption, no. Destination storage class, no, we're not changing the storage class of the destination. We want it to be standard storage class, but yes, you can change it to infrequently access. You can change it to glacier. You can change it to any whatever you want in the storage in this in Singapore area, right? So we don't need to change that. And if we go further down, so no changes till now. Additional replication options, replication time control, replication metrics and notifications, delete marker replication, and replica modification synchronization. So if there's a modification you want to sync that to, yeah, in production environment, suppose you change a file in North Virginia, you just make a change there. So yes, that change should be replicated as well. So yeah, in a production environment, you can just choose any one of those options. So on this page, we defined a source bucket and a destination bucket and an IAM role. For that, we just click create new role. So these are the only 3 things that we changed on this page, right? So what we need to do is we need to click save. Okay, so I'm gonna click save here, hoping for no errors. All right, so far, well, it's good. There is no errors, no error. And if I go down here, it looks like this. Okay, guys, so we're gonna check its effectiveness, but screenshot number 10 is this. Replication configuration. You can say bucket replication configuration. A lot of shunts. So screenshot 10, bucket replication configuration. Screenshot 10, bucket replication configuration. Then after that, we're going to upload a new random file, and then we're going to see if it reaches on the other side or not, right? So screenshot 10, bucket replication configuration. Wow, it's going so slow. Screenshot 10 bucket replication configuration. Screenshot 10 bucket replication configuration. And then just upload a random file and see, upload a random file in North Virginia bucket and see if it automatically shows up in Singapore bucket. So screenshot 10 bucket replication configuration. Okay, let's check it out. So how do we check it out? So I'm going to go to the bucket here, and I need to go to the bucket. So there's the bucket here, right? And in this bucket, I need to upload, I'm in the North Virginia bucket, I need to upload a new random file. Okay, John says there's an error. Guys, go ahead and upload. So, an unexpected error. Oh, okay. John, it's unexpected. So, you can take a screenshot of this one and it's okay. Your screenshot 10 with this error is okay. Just take that one. And if you want to try again, you can try again. So, but this screenshot is okay. So, I'm going to go for upload a random file, guys. Just some file. Upload, add files, right? Upload, add files, and anything that you haven't uploaded yet. I think I did not upload index.txt. I did upload index.html, but I never uploaded index.txt. So this would be the new file after the replication rule created. So this file should end up in Singapore bucket as well. Okay, same. Jericho has the same error, Duong has the same error. Okay guys, grab this error screenshot, because either the correct screenshot or the error tells that why it was not correct, right? So take that error screenshot. So double click the random file, upload it, and it does not show right away, but it does show one day, Monday or Sunday. No, it's not that far, bro. But so one file uploaded, it's a new one. I'm going to click close here. So this is a new file, index.txt in North Virginia bucket. All we are expecting is that we go to the Singapore bucket and we're expecting this one file there, because this is a new file. Those are existing files. Existing files will not be copied. Only new files onwards will be copied. So I'm just going to go to the Amazon S3 here. John Kenneth, well, take a screenshot and cancel. Yeah, those who got the error, cancel. Others, go ahead. I'm going to go to my Singapore bucket, and you can confirm your results if you saw, if that file got copied. Refresh the browser. And refresh here. One day, Monday or Sunday, it's going to come. Okay, anyone got it? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay, so Eric says yes. So there's a yes, guys. Oh, John also got it. Woohoo! Hey, how come I didn't get it? That's not fair. I don't send messages to everyone for some reason. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's strange. If why we cannot send everyone message? Okay. So how come I didn't get it? Come on, by this time. Serious? Refresh. Am I in the correct bucket? Yeah, Singapore. Source destination was Singapore, right? Yeah. Okay, one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna work, but guys, while I'll keep refreshing, I'll just create that upload. So just gather all the, and then we need to download or delete all the buckets as well. Very important. But let me just open the create the. Do we have a project to do so? Yes, Gideon will be having a project by today to tomorrow. You will see a project uploaded there. So everyone grab Gideon because you know it's good. I mean, I'm just kidding. So yeah. So okay. So I'll grab this week 12 and the date. Wow, with mousepad I really hate this. So uncomfortable. What was this? Yeah, week 12. 30 March 2021. Screenshot. Well, Eric, we don't need to take the screenshot of the page where the file is showing because screenshot 10. Yeah, you want to take a screenshot of this, you can take it if you want. It's up to you that the file actually landed there. But that's how the replication rule is created. That's the screenshot I needed. But you can go for screenshot 11 as well if you want. Okay. Upload week 12. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna let me upload because I was clicking submit right away. Do we take a screenshot of the... Oh, okay, that's the same question. So, okay. Submit. So, okay, guys, upload and see you Thursday. And yes, this week you will get the projects for the 2 courses. Obviously, it's gonna be easy ones. Okay, so guys, delete everything, right? Amir says replication work, but I upload it manually. Is it acceptable? Manually. That's not replication, Amir. Oh, there you go, it works, woohoo, yay! So it automatically appears here. It has to be automatic, not a... Did you upload the file Amir directly to Singapore yourself? That's not... That's defeats the purpose of the replication rule. Oh, okay, you're just kidding. Then it's fine. Don't forget to upload the project. Yes, Gideon will do. So, guys, delete. See this? Let's go to Amazon S3 level. And you need to select your buckets. Oh, at one time one bucket. Okay, one time one bucket, seriously. So I'm gonna go for the bucket here, and I'll just oh no, actions. Serious, why did I go inside the bucket? Just select outside the bucket, and there's an empty. Guys, you need to first empty the bucket and then delete it. If you select the delete, then it will first make you empty the bucket, then it will let you delete. So first select your one bucket, click empty, and then simply just put here permanently delete, right? So put permanently delete here and click empty, right? And once it is empty, then you need to click exit. Now you can select the same bucket again. Once you've put empty and you type there permanently delete and pressed OK, then you can come back out and then select again, and now you need to delete the bucket. So first empty, then delete, both one by one. When you go to delete, you need to just type the bucket name, copy paste like this, delete bucket, right? My bucket is gone. First one, I'm going to go for the second one, Singapore one. I'm going to empty it first. Click empty. It asks you to type permanently delete, and then click empty, and then click exit, right? First empty, then delete. Singapore. Now I'm going to go for delete here, right? And you need to copy the bucket name here. Oh, don't. It shows you're unable to delete. I'm gonna go for delete bucket. Okay, well, lots of buckets are gone already. So who cannot delete? Let me know, I'll delete for you. Go ahead, guys, delete it. Go ahead, guys, delete it. You can't leave it here because I'm gonna remove the permissions. And leaving it here is can affect your marks as well, because that's, so make sure you delete the bucket now and upload, right? Delete. Hopefully you're deleting. Okay, a few left. Okay, I hope you've all deleted that. Okay, a few left. Guys, go ahead and delete. First empty, then delete. You can't delete mine, Keith says. Okay, I'll just go for this. Empty. No objects in the way, so you emptied already. That's good. And then delete. So okay, done. Other you've already done. Okay, Harshan, Khalid, Paul. You're welcome. Guys, go ahead and delete, or I'll delete it for you. Oh, thank you. Good night, Amir. Thank you. Guys, delete. Alright, guys, I'll start deleting for you. Okay, Khalid, please delete. I'm deleting it for you now, Khalid. I'm deleting for you. Okay, bye-bye.